at a hospital in Merthyr Tydfil. Tonight we've been inside the University Hospital of Wales in Cardiff, home to the largest intensive care unit in Wales, and where the number of intensive care beds is being increased by the day. Staff from different departments are being trained to handle coronavirus on simulation mannequins. But there's also a focus on helping healthcare workers themselves cope psychologically with what they may have to face. And their knowledge is being shared with hospitals across the UK. Our Home Affairs correspondent Andy Davis reports.
Okay, I'm coming in to take your attack from Passion.
It's a scenario they may have to face.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
A patient who's had a cardiac arrest and who may have coronavirus.
Right, the key area.
Oh, you want me to leave?
Yeah.
Okay, fabulous. Great, well done. That's brilliant. So that's one cycle of CPR done. Alright.
Crash team in one room.
That's it. So that's going into the bin now.
Training in personal protective equipment in another. They are brain surgeons, A&E nurses, and in a neighbouring theatre, anaesthetists. Here being shown how to intubate a COVID-19 patient while minimising their exposure to infection. They'll be using more protective masks when it comes to it, but for now they need to preserve stocks.
This is one of the highest risk areas that we have to do. We are close to the mouth, which is where the virus can be. So you'll see the team are training hugely at this particular procedure to be safe and to keep the patient safe.
What did it feel like to be intubating in that team scenario and with all the PPE kit on?
The PPE wasn't as uncomfortable as I thought it was going to need to wear.
Yeah.
Especially as a glasses wearer.
Sat down and talked it through. Okay? Go donning. Well, you might as well, we'll do doffing now and then we'll do it again actually.
In 2 weeks, 600 staff will be trained like this in this Cardiff hospital alone. Wales's biggest critical care team is about to get much bigger.
Alright, this isn't going to be over in the next few weeks. This is a minimum of 6 to 9 months, up to 12 months, and it's going to be really exhausting if we don't pace ourselves.
How would you sum up what's going on here right now?
It's unique, it's difficult, it's energising, it's worrisome, but it's also something that intensive care was made for.
Are you scared by what the next few months might hold?
I think we always have an outer facade of calm in intensive care. We arrive at scary situations, we try to instill calm in a sea of chaos, and I think that's what we're doing. We're putting on that facade of calm, which helps. It makes a big difference. But, although I'm a doctor, I'm also a dad, a husband, a son, and so the things which concern me are not what we do in the hospital here. That's my job, I know how to do it. It's the things that happen elsewhere, actually.
To those who are elderly, frail, vulnerable, or with serious underlying health conditions, we have not forgotten about you. You must be so proud.
Matt Morgan wrote an open letter for the British Medical Journal recently, inspired in part by thoughts of his parents who fall into the more vulnerable coronavirus categories.
The checklist is purposely designed to be used as a daily ward round.
And as he now helps circulate COVID-19 critical care video training to other intensive care units, his colleague Julie Highfield, the unit's clinical psychologist, is focusing on how to manage the personal toll this could have on frontline health workers.
We've heard accounts from Italy of staff having to make terrible decisions over who to prioritise for ventilation. If that is the truth of the situation, do you think that could happen here in your hospital? And if so, how do you equip your team psychologically for a scenario like that?
I think the reality is how can you prepare psychologically for something like that, other than to know that it's a risk. I think it's important to know that no matter how much we might limit the health, however, we're always here giving the care to the best of our abilities. And that's the moral check when you come back to it at the end of the day. Did I do the best I can with what I have? And did I do it with compassion and care?
Everyone can feel the emotions in that? Yeah? This may be a reality. It hopefully won't be, but this is something that we have to consider going forward.
Planning for worst case scenarios while they have time. Julie Highfield's staff wellbeing guidance is now being shared across the UK. They are also planning on how best to support families of those admitted.
It's going to be hugely difficult for families whose loved ones are going to be in critical care units, because presumably getting close to them is going to be difficult.
There are some options that we are enabling at the moment, which is family being able to be trained and supervised in personal protective equipment for those end-of-life situations. But the reality is that we're not going to have lots of opportunities to do that and lots of equipment spare to do that. And also, families might be frightened of doing that as well. So they're going to be torn. Do I go in and say goodbye and feel slightly at risk myself, or do I miss that opportunity? That's going to be really tricky for them.
I mean, it's extraordinary that these issues are now being considered in this way.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We have an idea about creating a family liaison team in our unit, because what we're hoping to enable is virtual visits. So being able to kind of Skype and FaceTime instead, because it takes away the PPE, but humans need touch, and that's going to be hard.
I think my message is that we are doing all we can. We will be there for you no matter what. Listen to the science, listen to the advice from experts. Science isn't perfect, it doesn't give us all the answers, but it's the best thing we have.
And so the COVID-19 training continues at pace, soon no doubt to be rapidly implemented, as the number of deaths linked to this virus continues to rise.
Well, joining me now are Roshana Median, who's an NHS surgeon and